Grabe talaga yung iyak ko nun, madam. As in, hindi mo ako makakausap. As in talaga, hindi ko, it was a bad, dark time. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the boot camp for grown-ups in progress, Camp Confidence!
Hello, mga madam, and welcome to another episode. For today's episode, ang ganda ng topic natin. And I love the title too. What if money is not moneying?
Paano nga ba, Madam Ayin? Na parang we are always here to celebrate our wins, to chika all of our highs. But what if there comes a time na meron talagang moments na money is not moneying?
Yes, minsan talaga ang pera mahirap kunin. May mga days na things that are usually performing well, not so much this time around. I guess, especially sa mga raketera, entrepreneur, you see and feel talaga na nagpa-fluctuate ang pera. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a symptom of growth. Pero at the same time, syempre kailangan natin mabuhay. Now, how do we take care of that? How have we dealt with money in the last year? Financial gain, financial loss, how we're coping, and how we want to improve moving forward. So ito yung episode tungkol sa mga lessons namin sa pera.
I love this so much. I have so much lessons that I could tell you guys from our episode way back.
Yes. Oh my God.
Kung OG ka, alam mo na meron kaming episode
First episode natin about money.
Yes, about finance. Nakasama namin si Josh.
Yeah, so yung asawa ni Madam Riz,
yes,
ang episode na yon, tinatanong ko sila ng money stuff. Kasi grabe guys, nung nagsimula kami, alam niyo ba nung nagsimula kami sa Camp Confidence, una sa lahat, wala akong pera. Okay? Wala pa nung time na yon. Yun yung time na I was hustling with Morena the Label. Also, to be fair, pandemic yun. So, lahat ng mga wedding gigs ko nawala, na-cancel lahat ng mga events. So, nawala yung hosting ko. And then, content creation, hindi ko naman siya full-time job then. And honestly, that was just a time I didn't know much about money. I didn't know about checking accounts, investments. Wala talaga akong idea. So, to be fair to us, we've come a long way.
Yeah, dati naalala ko, LANA pa lang kami nun and kaka-start pa lang ng mink. Kaka-start pa lang ng mink and ngayon, nagre-reflect ako, parang shocks, ang dami nang nangyari ever since mink started. Ang dami ng mga...
May resort na kayo?
Ano ba? Oh my God, hindi pa rin talaga ako makapaniwala. Pero, grabe, ang dami ng gains, ang dami na rin mga pagkakamali, ang dami ng lessons. So, I'm excited to go about this episode kasi, ayun nga, ang dami na nating chika. Lalo ka na, madam. You've really come a long way. Marami na ring updated systems and ganyan from that episode.
Yeah. So, we'll share with you guys in a little bit how we are managing our money nowadays. However, let's start with context. So, ano nangyari in 2023 that has led to our current situation right now?
Okay. So, 2023 was a mix for me, Madam Ayin. Kasi I currently have 11 brands right now.
11 brands? Small thing.
I currently have 11 brands. Merong mga nawala. Meron ding mga lumitaw from the 2020 episode.
Can you run down? What are the 11?
So, Lana, Mink, Let's Glow, Landos, it's an aesthetic clinic. Landos, a resto bar, Seco Villa, Seco Suites,
Airbnb Resort.
Airbnb Resort. Itong content creation, si Entrepreneur's Cradle, si kami na, our ad agency. Tapos yung investments din namin on the side, mga crypto, and isang nilet go ko was Talaala.
Yeah, that was
I had to pause that. C10, it's a streetwear line before. Ay, si Wim pala. Oh my God. How could I forget Wim Manila?
Wim Manila is a sticker printing.
Yeah, sticker wallpaper brand. Pero, friends, marami ring nag-come and go. Yun nga. Marami rin akong natutunan. It's not always the highs. Ang isa sa mga pinakagusto kong kinikwento is the lows. Kasi being in business, madam, and especially now na lalo din yung mga nagfi-freelance, mga content creators, it's not easy. It's not glamorous. It's not parang, lagi akong may pera, ganon. It's not always like that. And I'm excited to share that.
Yeah.
Madam, yung lahat ng mga natutunan kong wag nyo nang sundin. Huwag niyo na pong sundin.
Biggest challenge in 2023?
2023 for us was with e-commerce kasi lalo ngayon na meron na ulit. Kumbaga parang maluwag na. Easing in nasa after the pandemic. And with other brands showing up, medyo humina yung benta for Lana and Mink. Although, kaya pa naman, pero there are certain things that we needed to pivot on. Sa business kasi, hindi laging up, 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 up. Meron ding dips, meron ding highs, meron ding super dip, meron ding ikakadkad na yung mukha mo sa lupa, ganon. So, how do you get back up, right? So, I need to do the logical decision na to downsize, ganyan, to cut ibang mga expenses, ganyan, to let the businesses breathe. They had to survive.
How do you decide on the downsizing? Paano mo i-decide na ito yung ila-let go ko, ito yung ikikeep ko?
Ako, it still boils down to numbers. It still boils down to data. So, if I have, di ba 11 brands tayo, merong mga brands na nilet go ko. So, I think that was 13 in total, di ba? Merong mga brands na hindi nagpa-perform. And as a business, kahit alam mong baby mo siya, ganon, you can't always, as a business owner, you can't always be emotional. You don't always have to run it with your heart. Kailangan, syempre, logic, data, analytics, kahit gano pa yan feeling mo, ang ganda nito. Pero if hindi naman bumibenta, if may mako-compromise na ibang tao with that, you have to cut it. Para siyang tumor na kailangan, you need to cut it out. And in business talaga, minsan dapat ruthless ka. Siyempre, iniyakan ko yun. Ako pa ba? As an iyakin girly, siyempre, iniyakan ko before ko siya i-pause or i-close. Pero, it's something that I needed to do.
Kailan mo dinasay yan last year?
Yes. Oo. May nakalimutan pala ako, Lando ba tong bakal? Shock.
Oo nga, may isa pa siyang skincare line for men, no?
Sorry, Lando. Okay.
Ano yun? Intimate skincare also?
Yes.
Intimate body care?
Body care for men.
Ano nga yan yung antawagan?
Lando ba tong bakal? Diba? Pinoy na Pinoy. Kasi kung may skincare sa girls,
So
dapat
funny.
may skincare din sa men.
So
anyway.
funny. I was gonna give that to my ex, but then he became an ex. So, hindi ko na, wala na.
So, wag na lang, diba?
Hindi ko na nabigay kay,
yeah.
Gross. Ew. Sino gusto ng giveaway? Magbibigay ako ng Lando Batong Bakal. Slide into my DM.
Ayan. So, that's with business naman, madam. Pero, ang isa ko pang nai-imagine is with you. What was your finances nung 2023? And how did you cope? How did you pivot?
So, I guess you pivot. So, if you guys have been following me, my main, ever since the pandemic, really was content creation. Content creation was the main job. And then I had Morena the Label, which was a t-shirt merch line. Tapos, I had Caillou Beauty, which is a cosmetics line. Ngayon, I think episode 1 na pag-usapan namin to na I wanted to let go of things because I kept thinking to myself, what if I poured 100% into content creation and hosting? What if I trust and put all of my eggs in one basket, which is that brand? Because to be honest, if you check the ratio of my income, siguro with my other businesses before, 60% of the work would go to Morena the Label, Caillou Beauty. But 90% of my income, 95% of my income was content creation. So it didn't make sense na I was putting in so much effort into my businesses, but then the income was coming from video creation. So why don't I just equal effort, equal income, you know? So that's what I'm doing this year. Another thing that I had last year was a full-time job. But I guess what I learned also is that having a full-time job does not equal stability always. Because yes, I mean, we learned this during the pandemic. Ang dami na retrench, ang dami na wala ng trabaho. So, yes, kahit na may full-time job ka, there is still a risk. And I realize now that given my personality, my capacity, mas kaya ko maging raketera. As in, financially, I can make more money on my own, which is something that I had to learn the hard way na, it pays to bet on myself. You know, we've been taught growing up na you need to work hard, to study hard so you can graduate, get good grades, and then get a good job.
Yeah.
Which is true for a lot of people, but I learned for myself it wasn't the case. For me, being able to work on my own brand, hosting, using my not so common talents of, I mean, it's a fairly new career path, diba? Content creation. Yeah, I learned to bet on myself. And so I let go of my day job. Kasi again, parang, let's be realistic. Kasi idealist ako eh. I thought I could do everything and everything will pay off. But you have to choose at one point. And it was the most financially responsible thing to focus on what was making me the most money, and also honestly like what I was most passionate about, which is content creation.
Yeah.
So yun.
Tsaka, naniniwala kasi talaga ako na if gusto mo talaga yung ginagawa mo, it should easily flow
Yung
in your
pera.
life. Parang ang sagwa naman na parang grabe ka na nga rumakit tas hindi mo pa gusto yung ginagawa mo.
Yeah. Siguro, I think it's important to understand na hindi siya madali makarating doon. Na,
Okay.
yes, you won't easily find out kung ano yung talagang gusto mo gawin and yung financially viable for you. Hindi ka makakarating doon agad. Pero pag nakarating ka doon, you'll think in hindsight, oh my gosh, that makes
Pwede
sense.
pala to.
Oo nga. Ngayon na ginagawa ko to, mas madali siya. Like, to give you guys an example, ang dami kong naging racket. Copywriter, email marketer, social media manager, teacher sa Spain. Nagturo pa ako sa Espanya. There was a time na nag-events din ako, host. Ang dami kung ano-ano ginagawa ko. Nagbenta ako ng t-shirt. Sobrang dami kong ginagawa. But now, I'm a full-time content creator.
Wow.
In hindsight, hindi ko akalain na kaya ko siya gawin. Pero ngayon, out of everything, this is the easiest for me to do. This feels the most natural. I can sell myself because I'm confident na I know I can provide the service I offer. Like, I can host. But when I was selling t-shirts, ako nagpiprint, di ako masyado nagtatrust sa aking skills. Honestly, like, what if pangit yung print ko? What if magkamali kami ng size? Alam mo yun, like, there was this something holding me back from doing it completely. Another example is Cleo of Hiraya Pilipina. Sobrang paniniwala niya sa product niya. She can push it. She can push it fully, 100%, no questions asked. With me, nung hindi ako masyado sure, parang hindi ako masyado sure sa social media management ko. So, hindi ko ma-pitch and ma-price sarili ko properly. I guess, that's another thing, yung rates ko, hindi ko mataas kasi parang, sakto lang. But now, as a host, as a content creator, I believe in my capability. So money in a way is also easier because I understand my value now.
Yeah. That also goes the same with business. Kasi feeling ng mga tao ngayon, okay, business ako after a month. They just give themselves a month. What?
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like that. Kasi with business, especially with branding, if you are branding a completely different product, maybe you want to brand a skincare or maybe a coffee cart. You can't just expect your business to flourish maybe a month or six months. Kami, ang threshold namin with that, of course, this still depends on kung ano yung appetite mo with business. Kami, we give it at least 2 to 3 years before we can say na okay, cut na to. Kasi, as a business owner, I have to do the best that I can. Gusto kong masabi ko na kung i-close ko to, nagawa ko lahat ng kailangan kong gawin. Nagawa ko yung dapat kong gawin. And business is not supposed to be like in a snap. Kasi nakikita ngayon with social media na parang, oh, okay, CEO, ang bongga na kagad niya. It's not always like that.
Yeah.
Yun yung lagi kong sinasabi, especially with my community entrepreneurs cradle, na kailangang tiyagaan nyo muna yung negosyo nyo. Kasi, parang bata yan na pinapalaki. Kung 1-year-old pa lang siya, bakit ina-expect mo na siyang alam na niya yung parang pang-college na? Ganon yung thinking ko with business and with money also.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be parang, okay, magko-content creation ako ngayon, dapat by next month, 1 million followers na ako. It's not realistic.
Yeah.
And yun din yung gusto kong i-amplify na message din sa lahat ng mga tao na nagtsatsaga going towards their goal, may it be financial, career, business. Tsagain nyo. Kasi mahirap talaga yan. Walang madali sa buhay. Ganon.
Question, how do you identify your appetite for risk and yung business mo? Kasi for example, yes, it takes 2 to 3 years. What if she doesn't have 2 to 3 years? Paano mo ma-identify how much you have para i-risk ito sa negosyo?
Ako, time and money. Time and money. Do you still have the time to wait 2 to 3 years? Do you still have the capacity, financial capacity to wait 2 to 3 years? Sa business model mo ba, kaya mo bang mag-accept ng mga investors or mangutang? Kaya ba? Kasi if not, nagawa mo na ba? Kasi maraming moving parts in business. Is it your marketing? Is it your customer service? Is it your shipping? Is it your place? Is it your location? Ganon. So, kailangan mong i-recalibrate lahat eh. Marami siyang moving parts. Parang it's a puzzle. Kaya if hindi mo nalagay yung tamang piece, it will fall apart. Ganon. So, going back to your question, again, time and money.
Paano
and if nagawa
naman
mo na
sa
ba siya
mga
lahat?
madam natin na konti ang time at hindi ganun kalaki ang capital? How would you transition to a business? Or how does one make money work in that sense?
Ako,
kasi diba, you were working when you started your first business.
Yeah.
How was that?
Si Wim. Ako before, nag-resign lang ako sa job ko nung kaya ng, kumbaga pantay na yung sweldo ko sa negosyo ko, sa kinikita ng negosyo ko. Kasi ako, naniniwala ako na huwag ka muna mag-quit. If you have a full-time job, please, tiyagain nyo muna habang ginagawa nyo yung negosyo nyo. Kasi with business, it ebbs and flows. Sabi ko nga, mataas minsan, mababa minsan. Kailangan meron pa ring stability or depende rin sa personality nyo. Kasi minsan, ikaw yung breadwinner. Diba? Mahirap din yun. What if may family kang sinusustain? You also have to be realistic.
Yeah.
Na, okay, kailangan mong mag-SWOT analysis. Okay, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So, if I quit my job, kaya ba ng negosyo ko?
I think isa pa, people underestimate the privilege of having a day job. Kasi honestly, like when I had a day job, maaasahan ko yun for my salary. Maaasahan ko yun every month. Now, habang meron kang safety net of your job, buuin mo na on the side. Like market yourself, promote mo na. Build it slowly so that by the time na you're ready emotionally, physically, financially, you're ready to let go of the job, your business is there for you and vice versa. I feel like there is just so much potential for growth while you're still in your job. And that's what I did in the beginning. Like, yung rumaraket ako, I was building my name sa hosting world, sa content creation. I was building all of that while I had a day job. It was not something I took for granted na, yes, I have my 9 to 5. I'll work my 5 to 9 editing my videos. I'll start working on my YouTube channel. Because I knew na once I let go of that, dive in head first. And again, this was something I was passionate about. I wanted to be a content creator. This was something I was putting my bet on. Like, I'm betting on myself na I can do it. But at the same time, wag ko aksayahin yung oras na meron akong day job. Kasi, just ko first 4 years, wala akong kinikita talaga sa content creation. But again, it took time to build it.
Yeah.
It took time to build it. But once it's built, it's so worth it. Yeah. And I guess that also, to me naman, yun yung take ko on risk appetite. I can afford the risk because I put in the work nung first 4 years. Nag-ipon ako. I made sure that the systems in place are gonna keep me afloat in case dumating tayo sa dip, sa lows. Like, for example, I guess the last 3 months when I was really busy with my day job, with my publishing job, hindi ako masyado naka-content. Na-affect yung brand deals ko. But because I've been saving up for it, I can get back up after I quit. Pwede ko siya ituloy.
Right.
And that's something that I don't think a lot of people... I hear this a lot na parang, oh, I can't do this. I have a day job. But also, your day job empowers you to make those choices. Because your day job fuels your business. It can fuel your business if, you calibrate it in the way na it's gonna work. But again, parang there's just so much power in our choices.
Totoo.
You choose a lot of these things. I mean, of course, merong mga elements na hindi natin makakontrol. But the very few ones you can control, what are we
Grab
doing with
it.
it? Yeah? Like, alam mo yung konti lang. Like, social media,
Totoo.
internet. The internet is such a powerful tool. And honestly, di ko talaga alam kung ano gagawin ko without the internet. That's a privilege that we did not have a decade ago, Like, a decade ago, it would have been so much harder to put your business out there, to promote
Totoo.
yourself. So ngayon na we have that, sobrang empowering to take advantage of that and see where that can take you.
And also a gentle reminder. A gentle reminder, lalong-lalo na sa mga breadwinners out there. I know it's difficult, especially if gusto mong mag-venture into a different business.
Nakakatakot.
Yes, that's number 1, nakakatakot. And number 2, I hope you get to be more gentle about your timeline because being a breadwinner is so difficult. I mean, ang dami mong kailangang isipin, ang dami mong kailangang bayaran. And I hope you get to be more gentle with the timeline in terms of business. So, kunwari, breadwinner ka na gusto mo mag-business, natural, mas matagal siyang ma-achieve compared to those people.
There are more
maraming
hurdles. Mas madaming
yes.
hurdles given na you want to. Syempre, may risk eh. Hindi lang ikaw ang iniisip mo.
Totoo. And unti-untiin mo lang. Kumbaga, don't be too hard on yourself na bakit sila? Ang bilis-bilis ng ganito, ganyan-ganyan. So, wala lang. Gusto ko lang din i-remind everyone na maraming nakaasa din sa kanila na be more gentle with your timeline.
Timeline talaga natin, di natin masasabi. There are so many things that we can't dictate, but there's still a lot of opportunity there. Speaking of timelines, idealism, in a perfect world, we want something, we get it. But it's not an ideal world. And marami tayong mga idealistic endeavors, I guess. Ako personally, ang dami kong idealistic endeavors.
As competitive people.
Yeah. Ano yung sayo?
Ako.
And what did you learn?
Ako, I thought, kasi binabalikan ko yung mga 5-year goals ko nung kailan ba yun. Kasi
oh my God, same.
Every annual planning namin, meron kaming by this year, ganito na. By this year, ano na. So, by 2024, nung binalikan ko lang, ngayon ko lang din naalala, na by 2024, sabi ko, ang Lana at Mink will launch an IPO. So, ibig sabihin, parang public offering na, parang ano na.
Why not?
Pwede nang for stocks, ganon, for the stock market, ganon. Pero, as we can see, hindi pa. But let's see. Initially, parang sabi ko, 5 years back, parang, kaya ko yun. Alam ko rin naman, kaya ko pa rin ngayon. Pero, I still look back to being gentle with my timeline na parang, Riz, hindi lahat ng gusto mo masusunod. Ano ka bida-bida? Ganon. I mean,
we're not machines.
Yes, exactly.
You have to consider so many things that go into this. At the end of the day, it's a small business in the sense na hindi ka corporation to be able to decide, I want it done.
Correct. And natutunan ko na rin eventually, madam, na life ebbs and flows. Hindi lahat ng gusto mo, hindi lahat ng gusto mo masusunod, but that's okay. You will be given opportunities. Iba-ibang daan yan eh. Parang hindi lahat ng plano nasusunod and that's okay. Pero ang importante lang talaga sa akin is, am I keeping my values? Am I keeping my people happy? Am I keeping myself happy? Am I keeping the people around me happy? And that's what matters.
Yeah.
TBH.
Ang laking tulong to see where you can strike a balance. Because I guess it also comes with a little more experience. With a little more experience, you realize the things that you're willing to let go of, including dreams. Including there are things that will eventually make you more money, but you can do less. Or maybe not as much as you thought or as you initially planned, but you're still okay anyway. Kasi naalala ko yung sinabi mo kanina, yung meron kang mga 5-year plan, ganyan, may mga goals na sobrang, tas now you're like, maybe not really. May ganun din ako, and these are goals na I would update every year by age 28, ganito. By age 29, ganyan. By age 30 na ako this year. So, now I'm trying to evaluate, like, is this gonna make me happy or did I just want to set lofty goals?
Yeah.
Do I need this much or not really? There's also power in downsizing, There's power in creating a lean team. If you guys know Vanessa Lau is a content creator and she also has an education business around content creation. So she teaches people how to scale their businesses through Instagram, through social media. And pinapanood namin siya sa YouTube. What happened with her last year was she took a break. All of a sudden, she announced, I'm going to refund everyone. Bye. I'm going to take a break from social media. As in, and it shook the education world because this is one of the leaders of coaching, ganyan, social media coaching. Isa siya sa mga leaders. Tapos, bumalik siya to tell us about her lessons. And what I really resonated with was her falling into the trap of scaling. parang sinabi niya dun na, if you're building a business, you think I wanna hire 100 people. I wanna get to a point where I can hire 100 people. But what for? Like, what exactly is the dream? What exactly is the goal na kailangan mo ng 100 people? Or is it something that you're just telling yourself you want because that's what you saw was successful at that time? Parang napaisip talaga rin ako nun na, do I really want that much?
Mhm.
Or is it possible to be happy with simpler things? Not saying I'm going to be less ambitious. I'm ambitious as heck. But that doesn't mean going to a place you don't really want to be in.
Mhm. Tsaka it still boils down to, again, your definition of success.
Yes.
Ano ba talaga? Ano ba talaga yung definition of success? Kasi ako din, madam, I went there. I mean, I had a huge mistake. I had a huge mistake of scaling too quick and scaling too much. So, nung 2020 kasi, sobrang nag-boom yung e-commerce. Sobrang, parang, alam mo yun, parang ang daming opportunities na nag-open. And then, I had it's a business tube mistake. Huwag niyo na akong gayahin, please. Huwag niyo na akong gayahin. Na nag-scale ako at the top of my sales.
Oh, that's so important.
Ibig sabihin, when I said I scaled, I hired a lot of people nung marami akong benta. Pero alam naman natin sa negosyo, and friends, alam natin sa negosyo na may mataas, may mababa. So now, sabi ko, ay, successful na ako, marami na akong tao, ganyan. Pero what if mag-dip? What if mag-dip? So, it happened. Eto na po, I crawl so you could fly. Ayan. So, it went to a dip. So, now what do I do with surplus people and surplus inventory stuff? So, ito talaga, nung time na to, madam, I think I went through a depressive state. Kasi, you know me, I love my people. I love taking care of them. But I had to take very, very hard decision na I had to let some people go. Grabe talaga yung iyak ko nun, madam. As in, di mo ako makakausap. As in talaga, hindi ko, it was a bad, dark time in my business. But that was a huge lesson. Na you can't always just scale dahil lang gusto mo.
Yeah.
Dahil nakikita mo yung iba na nagsiscale, so ako
That's
din. Wag
the
po
dream.
gaya-gaya. Wag tayong gaya-gaya. We have to be analytical. We have to be data-driven. You have to know that there are highs but there will be lows in business. And yun yung hindi na... Sobrang passionate ko dito kasi yun yung hindi alam ng ibang tao na as a negosyante, as a leader, yung bigat on your shoulders of these decision makings na parang you can't just parang say yes to this kasi isang maling pagkakamali mo lang, it would cost people's livelihoods. Grabe talaga yung doubt ko sa sarili ko noon, nung time na yun, na sobrang bumaba din yung self-esteem ko noon na parang kaya ko ba talaga to? Am I really made to be a business owner? Pero when I ask myself, ano ba yung lesson na tinuturo sa akin na to? The lesson that I learned is that look at your numbers, look at your analytics. Kasi isang maling decision mo lang, marami kang maaapektohang livelihoods.
I think that's such a good lesson not to make decisions based on your peak. That is so, like, ang takeaway ko yan, madam, sa conversation na to. Because I guess in the same way, even if hindi from a business perspective, like even personal savings.
Yeah. Ooh.
do not buy a property at the peak of your financial.
Are you ready to tell us more about that lesson? Para matuto din kami.
Okay, but I mean, okay pa naman siya. But I bought a property when I was doing so well. And it was great. I was doing so well. But I guess in my head, I thought it could never get bad. I guess this is where ego is the enemy comes in. You think you're invincible, but life humbles you. Humbles you. How could I think that nothing was ever gonna happen? Like nothing can affect this.
Yeah.
So to me, that was a lesson na parang, yeah, you can invest on things, you can bet on yourself, but don't think it's always gonna be like that. Don't think you're invincible. So ngayon, yes, I'm still gonna invest. I I will build a team, but it's not thinking na I'm always gonna have these sources of income. I'm always gonna have these. And it's not to be negative or it's not to assume the worst. It's just being realistic. Like in this world, again, like what you said, livelihood ang katapat niyan. Pera, that's tangible. That's super, super, super tangible. That's something that affects your daily life. You can't just decide na,
Yeah.
diba? I mean, kung ikaw lang, maapektuhan ka rin, you know?
Yeah,
Like at the end of the day, that's
oo.
your livelihood.
Sobra. And speaking of things that we cannot control, one more lesson that I'd like to share is have an emergency fund. Not just for
That's the
yourself.
first thing number one.
Yes.
Please.
Not just for yourself, but also for your business. Kasi we have an emergency fund personally. But what if there's something happens in your business that you cannot control? So if you are a listener, if you're listening and you have a business, please have a contingency fund. Please have an emergency fund for your business so as to not affect your personal savings.
That's so important na you treat your business separately from yourself. And I guess for a lot of small business owners, even racket, like iba yung expenses ko as a content creator versus me as myself.
Right.
So even if you think I am the business, that's different. Magkaiba yun. And it saves you time, energy, effort, money, most especially. It saves you resources if you're able to set aside for each separately.
Hi, but to wrap this episode up, Miss Ayin, to wrap up our episode, siguro, can you share one money mantra that you have right now? Do you have a money mantra right now?
I should have one, but I guess what I tell myself a lot is I am capable of making money. And I don't want to ever convince myself na I can't. Because even if I ever, knock on wood,
Yan, lahat ng wood.
knock on wood, if anything happens, I have years and years and years of building my skills, of learning how to work in this world. Now I could figure something out. I can always figure something out. So I want to eliminate the fear of I'm going to have to go back to zero because it's never going to be back to zero. So I think that provides me enough of a risk appetite. Now I will try. I will still risk. I will bet on myself. But at the same time, I will do it realistically. I will do it diligently na hindi ako pabara-bara.
Yeah.
What about you?
Ako, ang money mantra ko is I am opulently rich. Ayan, lagi kong sinasabi, minsan may mga times na parang ano ba yan? Parang minsan kulang. But I keep on reminding myself that I am opulently rich, not just with finances, but I am opulently rich with health. I am opulently rich with opportunities, with my community, with friends, with family, with my husband. And that keeps me going. Alam mo yun, parang kasi pansinin mo, at the end of the day, it always gets better.
Yeah.
I mean, if may pinagdadaanan ka ngayon financially, I know it's difficult. I know parang feeling mo hopeless ka right now. Maybe you are feeling parang in a dark position ka. But there will be light for sure. And in life talaga, you really have to be relentless eh. The only way to is through. And you just have to experience everything. You will be wiser for sure when you get over this financial difficulty.
Such good lesson.
Ano talaga, parang have an abundance mindset. Sobrang nakatulong ng matindi sa akin yun, madam. Especially nung time na, alam mo yan, hindi pa naman ako totoong super duper opulent. Ganon. I mean, hindi pa naman ngayon, pero magiging. Ganon. Yung mindset really did help me so much.
Yeah. Words are so powerful.
Yeah.
I switched how I talk about money. Instead of saying, ay, di ko afford, I changed it to, may pinaglalaanan ako.
Yeah. How can I afford this?
Yeah. Parang, it's not that I cannot afford this. It's that I have priorities.
Yes.
And when you switch that, you start believing that it's not that I lack. It's that I choose to do something else. I choose to give it elsewhere.
Wait lang. Last kwento na. Alam mo ba, kasi na-inspire ako kay Jim Carrey, di ba? Sinulatan ko yung sarili ko ng check worth 100 million pesos.
Oh.
I do not know how I'll do that, but I said, I will have 100 million pesos net income.
there.
I still do not know how to do that. Malay ba natin? O malay natin mag-work. Net. Important yun, net. Net income. Malinis. Ayun. So, malay mo, mag-work. Let's see. Tingnan natin kapag may next ibang seasons na, tapos nangyari na. Papakita ko sa inyo. Check!
Let you know. Well, thank you so much, mga madam. And if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to rate us on Spotify. Minimum 5 stars. Thank you guys so much for listening. Tag us if you have any insights about this episode. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!